given today is International Women's Day.
Yes.
Tell me a woman that you admire and why.
I would typically name someone who's famous and well known, but I think over the last month or so, I have really learned a lot about giving birth and having a baby and bringing life into the world. And I know that would sound so cliched and ridiculous, but my older sister Claire gave birth to a beautiful baby last month, and I'm in awe every time around her, and I can see how she can literally sustain life with just her body and have this little person who she is bringing up and bringing into the world, and already just so nurturing and loving towards.
What, so you're getting lucky?
To my boyfriend's relief, not at all.
Really?
I thought I would, but then the baby was here and I realised how much work it is, and I'm like, okay, not even for the next 5 years.
Okay. That's good to know, considering we're working together.
Yeah. What about you? Woman you admire?
I would actually also say someone, not cliched, but not as interesting given not everybody knows who they are, but I would say someone like my mum. I've been thinking about it a lot recently because my mum is in her 50s, she will say 30s or 40s, and I've been having a lot of interesting conversations with her recently. She listens to the podcast every week, and I think given that she's come from a different era and has grown up around different ideas, it's been very interesting us trying to marry our ideas and talk about things, and I think she has one of the most open minds of anyone I've ever met. Like, is never firmly ingrained in anything she's ever thought, and I really love that she's really quite malleable to talking about things, and I think it's quite a rare thing at that age to find someone who wants to learn more from younger people, and likewise.
Yeah, it's kind of nice to have generations come together. I feel like there can be so much division where older Australians and younger Australians can be both cynical towards each other, and there can be that resentment, as if to say, you think you know so much.
And you don't know anything at all.
You don't know anything at all. Whereas when you can actually meet on the same page and be like, you know what, we both have things to offer each other. I love that. I find that so refreshing. My grandmother is one of the most progressive, open-minded people I know, and she's in her late 70s now, and I absolutely adore that about her.
It's just nice knowing that you can always have an open mind at any age. Like, it's possible to have an open mind at any age, because I sometimes worry that I think like this now because I'm young, but when I get to 50 or 60, am I going to be closed-minded because I've been raised on certain ideas as well? But I think it's a good example of how you can have an open mind at any age.
Yeah, and it's great, I think, when someone points out that you're being closed-minded so that you can kind of adapt. And I do worry about becoming closed-minded as I get older, because I love having open conversations with family members. So hopefully that's something I don't lose.
I won't let you lose it.
My next question.
Ooh, hit me.
What do you say to men? Oh, I love this one. What do you say to men who ask, what about International Men's Day?
Well, you give them the date of International Men's Day,
which is Thursday, the 19th of November.
There you go. And International Men's Day always comes and goes, and there doesn't seem to be much of fuss because they don't want it or need it. It's an interesting one because I think it's always said as a bit of tongue-in-cheek, like, oh, what about International Men's Day? And it's often thrown at you as a bit of a joke, but I never actually find it that funny. I find it kind of annoying because it distracts from the conversation.
Yeah, absolutely. And also, I don't think International Men's Day needs to be a joking matter either. I think equality and feminism serve both genders equally, in that men are really struggling right now with poor mental health across the board, basically. Rates of male suicide are really high, and so many men feel like they can't take parental leave and be with their children more and be more family oriented. And I think that we can start having those conversations more and more on International Men's Day, but there's also not a problem with using International Women's Day to platform conversations that are important to women. And if it's important to women, it should be important to all of us.
Well, I think that's exactly the reason, the thing behind International Women's Day this year, right? Each for Equal, is that the idea that everybody should be taking part in these conversations because they matter. All right, what do you say to people who argue that equality should be organic and questions whether it always has to be 50-50 between men and women?
This is a really complicated question.
Yeah.
And it's hard to answer in a little soundbite. That said, I'll give it a go.
That said, I will answer it in a soundbite.
Should equality be organic? I mean, in a utopian society where everything is already equal and we all start on the exact same starting block at the exact same point, sure. I don't think we do. I mean, if you're going to acknowledge that privilege exists and disadvantage exists, you need to acknowledge that things need to be brought into place to counteract that. And I do not think that we live in a society where we have equality organically, unless you're going to believe that middle-aged white men are the most meritorious members of society.
The smartest, the funniest.
the funniest,
the best
leaders, the best at making decisions, then I think you need to look even at the Australian government and think, okay, well, these people don't represent what Australia looks like. These people do not represent the different races, the different cultures, the different genders, the different people that we have in our communities.
And abilities.
And I think we should have that represented. So do I think equality can happen organically? Very, very rarely. I do believe in quotas in a lot of circumstances. I think they're really, really important. And I think if you're going to acknowledge that we are all born into different scenarios, then we need to kind of figure out a way to make sure that different voices and different opinions and different people are platformed as regularly as possible. What do you think?
Well, I think the idea that if change could happen organically, it would have happened already. I think when we're having conversations about the pay gap or we're having conversations about like ASX CEOs, we've been having these conversations for such a long time and nothing has changed. If you're not actually trying to dismantle a structure, nothing will change. And I think that's exactly the idea, right? We're living in this structure that means that women can't climb as fast, people of different cultures can't climb as fast, and that a certain type of man can. And I think in order to do that, you need to dismantle the structure with a new structure, which is quotas. I think they are crucial. I think the pendulum has swung so far one way that it needs to swing the other way. And I think...
And it won't recalibrate on its own. We need to give it a little nudge.
And the other idea is that it's not easy and it's not going to be uncomplicated. I think these kinds of things are messy. I know that some people who might be working in companies where quotas are a part of it aren't enjoying the process now. Like it's hard and it's messy and it's complicated.
I think that's why today is so important and why International Women's Day is so important, because it can really recalibrate and bring us all together.
It also just forces conversations. Like it gives us reason to have these conversations in a way that is timely and meaningful.
Absolutely. All right, my 7th.